But you realize that's not Shannon Sossamon. She's an actor. She's playing a character in The Holiday. She didn't really break Jack Black's heart.
I don't know. Sometimes I literally legitimately sometimes hold things against actors that they do in their movies.
Liz, you're an actor.
I know, but it's like sometimes they just do it so good that I'm like, how dare you? You know?
That's the point. That's how you know that they've done a good job.
Right. I guess you're right. I'm just like, dang. Like the guy from Titanic, her fiance.
Oh, yeah. Billy Zane.
Yeah, I hold that against him.
He's a really sweet guy. He was a really sweet guy to me. I don't want to say and speak for every moment and every person. Who knows? But the times I met him, he was very professional.
I mean, I'm sure he's an amazing, great guy, but dang, he was horrible. Not horrible like he was a bad actor. He was incredible in Titanic, but just like, man.
He was in love.
Was he in love? Was he in love?
Strap yourselves in, dear listeners. We're about to get into a doozy of an episode of The Critics and the Crowd, the only podcast that will survive the upcoming apocalypse.
Why must you always exaggerate, Steele? We all know Last Podcast on the Left is also going to make it.
Enough about true crime and the end times. Our podcast is all about the media that divides us. Some movies win Oscars, but bore audiences to tears,
while others sell out multiplexes and make critics scream into the night. As always, this is Liz Ramirez, your cooler co-host of The Critics and the Crowd, your favorite audio critique of cinema.
And this is Steele Philippek, your hoitier and, dare I say, toitier co-host. And I can say, honestly, I am excited to dig into today's work. That's because we're covering One Missed Call, the 2008 remake directed by Eric Ballett, written by Andrew Clavin, and starring Shannon Sossamon and Ed Burns.
It's also our latest oh-fer. That's right. The One Missed Call receives a whopping 29% from audiences. It has 0 registered positive reviews on Rotten Tomatoes from the professionals. It joins the ranks of Divorce in the Black, which, if that episode is anything to go by, means we're in for a bit of a ride. And by ride, I mean pure controversy.
Liz, this is a very similar score to Prom Night, which we've already covered. That had 9% from the critics and 38% from the crowd. Slightly higher than today's film, but the same exact split. The difference is surely academic, because it essentially rounds out to 0 stars from the critics and 1 star from the crowd, unless one is using your mixed up, messed up 5-star system.
Listen, I can't necessarily explain the 5-star system. It comes from within, as most things. And I don't want to give away my star for this movie just yet because we're not there, but just know it's not good.
I'm sorry, I tuned out there. What did you say?
The stats. One Missed Call released in January of 2008. It is the remake of the 2003 film Chakasin Ari, which literally translates into, yes, One Missed Call.
I always love foreign titles and their differences between English converts and vice versa. I remember that As Good As It Gets was titled Mr. Cat Poop in some Japanese markets. In any case, the original Japanese movie was a sleeper hit with a modest budget, about $1.5 million, that made back 10 times that amount at the box office. It spawned an entire series with 2 sequels and a 10-episode television show that dropped in 2005. This was the era of the Japanese horror genre. The Ring, The Grudge, Dark Water, and many other films had all seen Hollywood adaptations, and even the uneven ones, Dark Water is one I'd label as such, made modest profits, with The Ring and The Grudge becoming huge hits with sequels aplenty. Shudder and The Eye, 2 such remakes of Japanese horror films, would release in the same year as One Missed Call even.
The formula is simple. Spend as little money as possible and drop a stable protagonist, typically female, into a moody, unfamiliar location. Insert a ghost that is hellbent on revenge, usually via some form of technology. Examples include a VHS tape and a cornea transplant, and then leaven with jump scares. An unstoppable, mostly unseen entity and a climax that is designed to be at least a little open-ended, depressing, morbid, or all of the above.
One Missed Call hit most of these points. Budgeted at $20 million, it made back a hair below $46 million. As this was still in the days of DVD sales and rentals, it almost assuredly made a modest profit. And why it was undoubtedly released in January. Though times have shifted things a bit, it is a well-honed practice of studios to dump films that they're worried about in the early winter, after awards season and the holidays. Less competition means that more people may take a chance on it amidst a slew of similarly lackluster fare, which certainly worked here. Rotten Tomatoes has the synopsis as such.
When Beth Raymond, Shannon Sossamon, witnesses the deaths of 2 friends, she knows there is more at work than just a tragic coincidence. Days before they die, both victims hear their terrifying final moments on cell phones. Though the police think Beth is crazy, Detective Jack Andrews, Ed Burns, believes her. Together, the pair try to unravel the mystery behind the horrifying messages before their own phone numbers come up.
Audiences may have given One Missed Call a chance, but critics didn't. In fact, the studio didn't even screen the film for critics, which is almost never a good sign. Professionals had to go see this movie after release, regardless of the timing, and oh boy, they didn't hold back. The Rotten Tomatoes consensus is as such.
One of the weakest entries in the J-horror remake sweepstakes, One Missed Call is undone by bland performances and shop-worn shocks.
The film stars Shannon Sossamon, Ed Burns, Ray Wise, and Jason Beggy. Sossamon, playing Beth, was coming off several notable roles in A Knight's Tale, 40 Days and 40 Nights, and Rules of Attraction. She would go on to do Sinister 2 and the cult hit television show Moonlight, among many other roles.
Ed Burns is a filmmaker in his own right, having directed over a dozen films and acted in many more, including The Brothers McMullen, Sidewalks of New York, Summer Days, Summer Nights. Don't forget 27 Dresses. It's not in the script, but I'm going to say it. 27 Dresses. Very important. He likes to act in films like One Missed Call to help raise financing for his much smaller, much more personal pieces. He's Steele's kind of filmmaker.
I don't love everything he's done, but he makes movies that are important to him on a small budget with people he respects. That's a filmmaker right there. Shoutouts to two small roles handed to Margaret Cho as the investigator who takes our main character's statement after a murder, and Megan Good as Shelley, the first victim in the film. Critics and the crowd fans will remember Megan as the lead from our coverage on Divorce in the Black. Download and listen, then download again and again and again and again, and 5 more times for good measure.
Behind the camera, this was director Eric Vallette's American debut. He was and is a veteran of film and television work in his native France. Some notable work includes episodes of Crossing Lines and the Transporter TV series, along with films like 1,000 Cuts and The Prey. Writer Andrew Clavin, meanwhile, is a prolific novelist, audio dramatist, political commentator, and podcaster who has won 2 Edgar Awards from the Mystery Writers of America. Cinematographer Glenn McPherson, meanwhile, would become a favorite of director Paul W.S. Anderson and would work on 7 of his films, including 3 Resident Evil movies, as well as Rambo with director Sylvester Stallone. The people here know what they're doing.
Initial thoughts. Liz, you started this podcast with me to cover films that divide amateurs and professionals. We've decided that a 25-point difference was the minimum we would need between critic and crowd scores, or that is 1 full star difference, if you're using the correct 4-star scale.
I will murder you in your sleep if you keep insulting my 5-star scale.
Regardless of your murderous intent, yes, One Missed Call qualifies, but a 0 to 29-point split is the difference between an unintelligibly shrieky student film and an incompetent bumbling of a Hollywood snooze fest. So why? Why choose this film when there are so many other oh-fers out there for us to cover? Oh, and just so we cover our bases, what were your initial thoughts coming back into this film?
Listen, the only reason I offered this film is because, Steele's texting me. He's like, okay, Liz, we gotta have another, scary movie episode. And I said, okay, cool. What about One Missed Call? And he was like, okay. And I was like, cool. And I only did it because I was like, oh, this is like a favorite of mine, from when I was a kid. This is, and then Steele's like, oh, it has 0%. That's so you, Liz. Rude, first of all. Okay. I have to say I watched this in bits and pieces in the past, never fully in one go. So I can only kind of scrape together what happens. And rewatching it was literally a trip. I was like, wait, oh yes, oh yes. I also have to say, as DVD covers go, this is literally one of the most memorable, if not the most memorable to me. There's The Grudge, there's Prom Night, and there's One Missed Call. And Jaws. But that's a different section. But if we're talking about horror movies, when I'd walk past in the Blockbuster, I can vividly remember the smell of the Blockbuster. It was like this dingy carpet smell. The trim of the Blockbuster had all the movies like Braveheart, The Wizard of Oz, and Twister. It had, do you remember the trim at the Blockbuster?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, it was gorgeous. And then they'd have a TV playing the movie of the day or whatever. And then they had candy at the front. And so you'd walk down the aisles, and I was just kind of always pushing it, pushing the limits. And so I'd walk down the horror movie aisle, and I would see the Grudge's eye through her hair, or I would see the screaming bloody face of the girl with the crown falling down, and it's Prom Night. Or I would see the weird ass 3 eye, it's like a mouth with a phone, and she's screaming. When I looked up this video to rent it on YouTube, I know I rent on YouTube. Listen, it's the cheapest. What can I say? I was like, ah. It scares me, that face. Also, I didn't know the score was that bad, okay? I thought it was it's probably got 18%. It's probably got, maybe 30% from the crowd and 18% from the critic. No, it is zero. It is zero. So I apologize for that. I did not do my research beforehand. I was just like, oh, this is one, because I can talk about this. Like, I know one missed call. I know one missed call. I was really excited to see what was going to happen. And I'm really also excited to map out what went wrong here. Really upset I had to pay for it, though. Really mad about that. I also hate that I chose the film because I was really scared to watch it. Like, I put this off for as long as I could because I was always home alone when I had to watch it. I think I've talked like this before about the films that we do, where I'm like, I actually didn't want to do it at first because I was really scared. So, listen, I'm scared of scary movies, but I wasn't scared about this one. I was really brave about this. Okay. That's my pre-existing thoughts about it. And some of my thoughts during it. And it's kind of a hodgepodge, just like this movie.
Okay, I can appreciate that. As for me, I never caught this film or its original back when they were first released. I wasn't a huge fan of the onslaught of Japanese horror films or their remakes that crashed across US cinemas, though The Ring does hold a place in my heart as one of the few PG-13 horror films that is truly terrifying, so I wasn't going to go out of my way for this one. I honestly had no idea what I was in for when I first hit play on my smart TV, though I'll admit the score and the split had me worried, well, with prom night fresh in my mind.
Yeah, there were so many questions entering this film that I had because I could barely remember anything. And all were answered after I hopped into my bed, wrapped myself in my tortilla blanket, and covered half of my face so I could protect myself from the demons on the screen and the nightmares that were sure to follow. But anyway, enough. I'll take their diamond necklace. You know where that's from?
Mm-mm.
Okay, it's fine. It's not a movie. It's Glitter and Be Gay. It's Candide. Anyway, Bernstein. Anyway, let's find out if the critics correctly labeled this as utter garbage, if the audience got it right by saying it's just boring dreck, or if both somehow missed and we've discovered a diamond in the rough.
I'm really hoping.
Place any bets?
I refuse to bias myself and thusly compromise my artistic vision.
You've written a light gun game about aliens and a comic book about burlesque dancers.
Autistic vision.
You sounded like you said artistic.
Artistic vision.
I'm sorry.
You know what the Grudge Girl sounded like? I always remember that.
Is that really what she sounded like?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I also have a story. My aunt messes with my uncle sometimes, and she will do the Grudge voice because he's so afraid of it. So sometimes, like at night, she'll go, like that. Hilarious. I've never seen The Grudge. I'm too afraid.
It's actually a pretty scary film, particularly the American version. Not to say that the Japanese version isn't scary, but I think the special effects are a little better in the American version.
Yeah.
And the girl is much scarier because she looks like dead. She doesn't look like a girl in makeup. She looks
Ew.
like a corpse.
My only experience with The Grudge, as with most scary movies, is through Scary Movie, the series. When she comes out of the TV and she's like, gets the floor all wet, and Brenda's like, she's mad about the floor being wet, and then she tries to beat her up, and Brenda's doing a good job, and she's like fighting her, and then eventually Brenda ends up dying, but like...
That's The Ring that you were referencing. She crawls out of the TV.
Wait, that's not the...
No, those are not the same films, and I will not have you besmirch their legacy like that.
Whoa. So, okay, yes, they're two different movies. Yes. Oh my God, I can't believe I really mixed those two. Then where was The Grudge? What does The Grudge do? She crawl out of TV? The well. No, that's the TV. No, that's the Ring. I've never seen either. So you can't get too mad. I've seen The Exorcist though.
I am shocked.
Okay, wait. So what happens in The Grudge? What does she do? What did she have a grudge on someone?
I think we're gonna have to use that as a homework episode.
Oh no! I don't want to watch that. You could just give me the cliff notes. Give me the what is that? The cliff tracks, riff tracks. That give me those. I'm afraid. Don't make me do this. I can't. Let's continue.
Warner Brothers, Alcon Entertainment, and Katakawa Pictures bring you creepy sound effects, a young girl trying to escape a locked window, and a fiery explosion at St. Luke's Hospital. A firefighter interrogates said young girl about the whereabouts of her mother, but she's too busy staring at the flames. I was in Boy Scouts with some pyromaniacs. I get it.
Cut to someplace else and sometime otherwise in a home that is definitely Japanese-inspired. Shelley Baum is talking to her friend Leanne on the phone when her cat, Luna, decides to go investigate something at the nearby koi pond. Passing sliding paper doors, lanterns, and bonsai, Shelley checks out the water, only to be pulled in by an otherworldly hand. Rude. Even ruder? Luna the cat is dragged in as well! What the hell was even that? I was really mad about that. Leaving nothing but a tiny red candy in its wake. We then see Shelley's flip-top phone scroll her contacts by itself. By itself.
This opening scene is about as scary as a laundry room. Phones themselves aren't scary. I'm reminded of the Family Guy joke about Stephen King making any kind of object into a source of horror.
Okay, for my 307th book, this couple is attacked by a lamp monster. Ooh, ooh.
You're not even trying anymore, are you? When can I have it?
Stephen King's still alive? He's still alive.
Yes,
Still alive. Sorry.
Any notes?
Yeah, so I was keeping the screen as tiny as possible here. The music was already scary. Okay, we're starting off really strong. And then we open and then I was like, wait a second, what's going on? Like there's a fire and I'm confused and there's like a girl, it was an abrupt start, okay? And I know that, there was abrupt starts in prom night, but I think that that's exactly how you're supposed to do it with prom night. Specifically, like this scene led into the film and it was like, is it a dream? Is it not a dream? But like there's just like a fire and you don't really know what's happening. The confusion isn't making me want to keep watching the movie. The confusion is making me kind of angry. There's a fine line you draw with opening a film. And I get you want to make a big bombastic
bomb. Yeah,
like bam. But it really left me I was mad. I was already mad. But I think I was more mad about watching a scary movie alone in my room in the dark. It's okay.
It was your own choice, Liz.
I didn't want to watch it downstairs because then I was open to more demons.
Because demons famously hate stairs.
They hate. Listen, demons. When there's more space for more demons. If there's less space, there's less. That's why we cover our bodies with our blankets because there's less space for the demons to get you. The logic makes sense here, folks. Okay. Yes, I did realize the Japanese house. I was like, wait, why is this a Japanese style house? Well, why is she here? And I was like, oh wait, Megan Good, completely criminally underutilized. Okay, Megan Good should have been our lead here, okay? No hate to Miss Sossaman, but like I really think Megan Good should have been used way more. I'm like, I can't believe she was in for literally like a minute. What was her career like back then?
She was on the rise. She'd been doing roles since Eve's Bayou, and maybe even before that. She was a well-respected actor at this point.
I would say yes. Maybe like a Drew Barrymore situation,
It is almost like that. She shot everything she needed in one day. That was a piece of trivia that I learned. It was the director's idea to start off with a scare like this rather than just lead with the fire, because he wanted to portray the ghosts immediately to try and get some horror on the screen.
Yeah. Like I said in my synopsis, I was really upset about the cat dying as well. There was no need for that. That was cruel and unusual. I didn't look for no animals were harmed during the making of this film. I should have looked for it. I kind of want to go back and see what kind of cat they use, because I don't think they use a real cat. Like, you can't drag a real cat into water. So I'm like, maybe like if you like pause and like look, you'll see like a stuffed cat. I don't know. But I'll go back and watch that. Actually, no, I won't, because I'm not paying for this movie again. Until it becomes free again, then I will try and go see if that's... Anyway, I remembered the red thing. I was like, what is the red thing? It always reminded me of Nemo's children. No, Nemo's brothers and sisters. That literally looks exactly like the little row that anyway. When the phone scrolled through the contact, her open phone and it scrolled. I thought that was so funny. Like, what are we doing here? I get what we're doing. It's supposed to be menacing and scary and malevolent and evil, but it just looks like wee.
It is ridiculous.
It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous.
The title credits montage after that with everybody on their phone. Ooh, so scary. Everybody's on their phones. Feels like a 1950s Hollywood PSA about the dangers of television.
Absolutely. The words, your phone, your life at the end, and then the CGI words, your phone, your life, being plastered on that billboard as it leads out to like the parties. What are we doing?
It's not as subtle as an upper decker. Do you know what that is, Liz?
Upper decker? Yeah. Is that like I'm going to guess.
Okay.
It's not like a double decker bus. Upper decker? It's like, is it when you punch someone up the decker?
No, it's when you take the top off of a toilet and you take a dump into the cistern of the toilet and then replace it so that someone doesn't know where this poopy water is coming from.
Steele, my brain hurts when I talk to you sometimes. Steele. Of course you would know that. I'm sure you've given someone an upper decker.
No. But I was in a fraternity, so I've seen it done.
Oh, Jesus. It's very jackass of you. Anyway.
We zoom out of our title sequence, across a CGI city, and then into a college party. It's the usual, bragging about sex, complaining about sex, and drinking games. A guy named Ryan is peeping on a girl named Taylor, and all but howling at the moon. Beth, his friend and our hero, though I use that term loosely, admonishes and then recruits him into helping her cook, revealing that Brian is really just trying to get his ex Leanne jealous. FYI, this never works, guys, and if it does, it means you're attracting a psycho.
In any case, Beth goes to answer the doorbell, has a slow-mo ghostly vision of her doing the same thing at a different door. No, seriously, this will happen throughout the movie. And then greets Leanne. They move upstairs, kick out a pair of soon-to-be boinking undergrads, and then commiserate about the funeral of their dear friend, Shelley. From the beginning of the movie, remember. Long story short, Shelley got cremated. It was very sad. Shelley was deemed suicidal, and Leanne doesn't buy it. And then Leanne's phone buzzes. But it's not her ringtone. It's a scary lullaby.
This is literally 10% into the film at this point, and the biggest scares were a hand popping out of the water in a way that the writers of Are You Afraid of the Dark would dismiss as too lame, and an off-key ringtone.
That's literally, oh my God, I think that was the funniest thing you've ever said. Because it's true. I didn't realize it was an undergrad party. Literally all these people looked 30 plus, and I was like, you guys are not. I thought it was like just friends having a party, and then they're actively making food at this party.
It was the weirdest thing.
It was like, I was like, what in the actors need to have business is this?
It's been a good 2 decades since I was in college, but I don't remember cutting vegetables in the middle of a
Straight
house
up,
party.
I'm like, why are you preparing food? She's meal prepping. That was crazy. Oh well. This movie already has a huge pacing issue. We are jumping all over the place. And as a kid, I couldn't really tell, but now I can. And I'm already upset. I've been upset. I'm still upset. I don't know if it'll ever get better, but I guess we'll find out.
There is a reason for that, and we'll get into that in the trivia about why it feels so disjointed.
The phone call that Leanne received, it was from Shelley? And the date is wrong, maybe? Leanne listens to the voicemail with Beth. It's not a spoof call or an offer to upgrade the non-existent insurance on your non-existent car. But somehow, Leanne herself sounding worried, then screaming.
We cut to a sketchy neighborhood. We know it's sketchy because there's an industrial train running by, graffiti, and someone smoking a cigarette in a public place. Detective Jack Andrews is talking to an informant, Jewel, who caught a video of a drug deal on her phone. Maybe. This is more implausible than actual ghosts, given the level of cell phone tech at the time, but sure. Andrews is just as dismissive of this as the audience and departs when he gets a call from the coroner. His sister was found dead after a week on the trail. After a surprisingly drawn-out scene, Andrews identifies her body and discovers a tiny red spheroid, the candy, in her mouth.
Him reaching into his sister's mouth, and how did he even see that? He was kind of like looking at her like, And I was like, why is he looking at her like that? He was like, Then he grabs the glove and reaches. I was like, I don't see anything in her throat. Her mouth isn't making anything. But okay, I guess so.
Spoiler alert, this film was significantly cut down from its original running time, and most of the cast and crew disavow it, but I'm not sure how adding more content would have helped. This is only 12 minutes in, and it is dragging.
We cut to a college classroom, somewhere. Beth and Leanne taking in a lecture on PTSD, how it affects young people and their development. Important for later. Just kidding. When Leanne looks out the window and sees a vision of someone burning in a breeze of flowers, maybe, and then bugs crawling into the skin of Beth, Leanne exits the lecture hall and begs off an invite for coffee from Beth because she has a paper due next week before heading to the library.
Shockingly, she actually does go to the library, writing in her notebook before getting kicked out at last call. Effects, both sound and special, stalk Leanne in a supposedly horrifying manner. She calls Beth as she sees a creepy undead man in a bus, a creepy woman and child with mouths for eyes, see the poster for reference, and shadows. Both Leanne and Beth realize that the creepy voicemail from Shelley's phone, it came from this exact moment. Beth runs to rescue Leanne, but it's too late. Leanne falls off an overpass and is turned into ground turkey by a freight train. Beth arrives to see a ghost between the boxcars of the train, but it disappears just as quickly as it appears. Even more sinister, Leanne's corpse twitches and manages to type out one last phone number. Is it to a pizza joint, an ex-boyfriend, or American Idol? The filmmakers leave the audience to figure it out.
You got some good liners in here, man. I keep laughing off to the side.
Thank you. I realize that I'm a jaded filmmaker and narratologist, but this sequence is about as tension-filled as a rubber band in my jumble drawer. The shot composition isn't awful, but I don't care for these characters, understand what's going on, or even feel like there's something weird, even with the weird mouths for eyes thing. Furthermore, Beth is supposed to be our main character, and she's appeared in maybe 3 minutes of screen time by this point.
I have to say, I love when actors are pretending to do work on real work. Like when she's like writing in her notebook at the library and then closes it. Also, I love how the demon didn't try to get her at the library. You know, I guess this demonic specter has respect for studiousness. I don't know. But poor Leanne, falling off the train or falling off the platform. It was kind of weird what happened. She was like, bah, 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 ah. And I was like, what? How did you fall? And why'd you go up there? Like, what was the point? Why was she up there? Like, what was she going to cross? I don't know. But also, why would you repeat the words that you said? Maybe the demon makes her not remember the words. Because, it's like, if I heard a voicemail of my voice saying words that led to me screaming, I would never say those words again. But maybe the demon has control over her memory and makes her forget that she said those words. And then there's a lot to unpack here, folks. Nary the time.
The demon can inhabit someone's phone, scroll through their list of contacts, find their favorites, I guess, read the future, send a message back in time, and then perfectly nailed the time of death for a person through, I guess, inference or
magic. Dark magic.
As we'll find out, apparently ghosts exist on the electromagnetic spectrum.
Yep, they do. Imagine when the ghost figured that out, that trick with the phone. She's probably like, whoa.
Oh, man.
This is like Ralph Breaks the Internet.
Shannon Sossaman is fantastic in subtle searching and smoldering roles, and those are just adjectives I'd use that start with the letter S. Here, she's just reacting to things off screen, and it's kind of a waste because she doesn't do all that much. Agreed.
This role really is just, I think, poorly written out for her. But it's just so disjointed, like you said. So it's like, what really can you do? I think she's really giving, I honestly think she's really giving as great a performance as she can, even though she broke Jack Black's heart. Okay, I'm kidding. She did a really good job breaking Jack Black's heart in The Holiday. I forgive you. I forgive you, Shannon Sossaman. I forgive you. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. All the love.
She is good when she's allowed to work here. She isn't allowed to work here all that much.
Yes.
There also are a few nice shots here. There's a sweeping push-in going into the lecture hall, which includes a student scrolling through their phone lazily as the teacher talks about PTSD. This is actually a really well-constructed shot, which includes visual theme, a phone obsession, and ignoring it while the narrative of PTSD is stated outright in the background. The other shot is a freaky guy in the background who disappears when Leanne turns around. The filmmakers have tricks here, and at points show solid judgment and understanding. It's just wasted on the final product.
Beth and a crowd of onlookers watch as coroners conduct an unnecessary examination of Leanne's body, pulling yet another red sphere from the mouth of the corpse. Wait, why did no one ever test the red sphere? How come we never see testing of it? Because we just find out it's candy eventually.
I was very confused by that for a long stretch of the film.
I thought it was a marble.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't...
Ed Burnham's character at one point says, oh, it's candy. And I'm like, is it candy?
Yeah, it doesn't look like... I've never seen a candy. What is that, a Red Hot? What is that? A Red Hot? No. What is that? What is that?
I would know a Red Hot. I love Red Hots.
I'm sure you do. Later, Beth stumbles through Leanne's wake, where we relearn that Leanne got a voicemail from Shelley, and that Shelley herself got a voicemail from her dead advisor. The plot thickens, though all three of those words are doing some heavy lifting.
As Leanne's friends commiserate, Brian, after verbally abusing Taylor, sees some CGI centipedes and storms out, then witnesses an ugly guy performing metalwork on a building, then is confronted by Beth while getting his caffeine fix. It turns out that he received a voicemail from himself 2 days before, but dated this day, and in just 2 minutes, all sorts of creepy stuff has happened since then. Brian departs in a huff, almost forgetting his phone. An explosion rocks the building across the street, with a wayward piece of rebar impaling Brian, his last words being those that his own voice spoke in that creepy voicemail. Phone-related death count, 3.
So if you answer the phone, can you not die? Or if you open it no matter what, it's going to be like, you missed a call. Because what?
Apparently a lack of electricity doesn't even stop this ghost, as we're about to find out.
Yeah. No battery never stopped a ghost. Them talking crap at her funeral, crazy.
Yeah.
Taylor, girl, I'm not saying you deserved it, but dang. Okay. And Brian, at first I was upset that Brian was being, an
asshole?
Yeah. And then I realized, he's okay. This feels very much like It Follows, but It Follows did it way better. And I didn't really even like It Follows. Remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that, and I'm still flummoxed by that.
But I like It Follows better than I like this. Duh, right? Duh.
I do like how they subvert the bus or car crash. I fully expected him to be hit by a car as he backed out into traffic, and he just brushed by him. That's a nice trick. Like, it sets it up, and you think, oh, here comes the trope, and then it doesn't happen, then he gets killed with rebar. It's not the best thing in the world, but there's at least something there.
Yeah, these deaths are weird. Because the third death or the fourth death, technically, we're going to see is going to be really strange. But, why are all these, like you said, Final Destination-esque, and then, one of them is just not. you know, we're just gonna die, you know?
The rules of this world are very weird and not really explained at all. Final Destination had a similar concept to this film, but it was much cleaner and simpler. It's all very needlessly convoluted here. And while I understand that much has been cut out of here, I'd expect that at the least, the tension would be unnerving. Instead, it's bland. I don't care about these characters. And as the ghosts aren't actually doing anything, there's nothing to worry about until the literal minute of doom that the voicemail foretells.
Yes. Have you ever seen Final Destination? I'm afraid of it.
I have seen Final Destination. I think it's actually a very clever concept.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of the series. It kind of gets a little repetitive, although it's recently been completely revitalized by
did you
another
see
entry.
it?
I have not seen that one yet.
I'm
no.
too afraid. I'm like, okay, demons are cool, you know, like Blair Witch, okay, maybe, but like you bring me to some real life, like, oh, you could die by eating glass. Yeah, that's crazy. I saw the trailer for it in the movie theater, and it was so scary because, like, the glass and then, like, the lawnmower, and I'm scared. It's, like, real things that could happen to you, but not really. But I used to literally be so scared of Final Destination when I was a kid. We stayed in a hotel room that they were doing construction next to the hotel room, and they had, like, you know, those big pillars that they put, you know, the things together, and it was up on this crane, and it was at the height of our hotel room, and I was like, that thing is going to crash into our hotel room and kill us.
I'd be more worried that someone would be peeping on you from that crane. But sure, you know.
No, it was at the top of the crane. The crane was holding the pillar. So they are at the bottom of the crane controlling the, right? So.
Continuing on.
Yeah, we have to move on. I don't know where I'm going.
Margaret Cho gets a cameo as a cop interviewing Beth after Brian's murder. There's no evidence of creepy voicemails on either his phone or Leanne's. Detective Andrews is back in the movie, I suppose, and asks about those red spheres. Hard candies. Brian spat one out before dying, and so did all of the other victims, including the sister of Andrews. She worked with Shelley, it seems, as her advisor, the one who called Shelley and started this film. Chain of events.
Beth, meanwhile, returns home after ripping up a letter that reads, "Read and forgive." She comforts Taylor, who believes she's going to be next. Beth adroitly takes out the batteries from their phones. You can't receive a call from yourself, spelling impending doom if you can't receive a call. Not good enough. Undead horrors won't be dissuaded by a lack of electricity. Taylor's phone pings, relaying a scream and a time of death. 8:32 on Friday. Beth and Taylor destroy the phone regardless. So we moved on to videos now.
I guess.
Yeah, no more voicemails, it's videos only. She's really upping her game, this ghost.
She's, increasing her media vocabulary, getting comfortable with the format. She wants to play with things. She's essentially gone to college for a couple months and now wants to, find a way to deconstruct these whole horror movie things.
I gotta say, I really wanted one of these phones really badly. I really wanted one of these phones. I think I want one. I think I want one now even, get rid of my touch screen. I kind of want a flip phone, so I can just click it, slam it, close it. And my calls,
For my parents out there, people seem to think that you can just give your 5-year-old a full-on smartphone or you don't give them anything at all. You can give your child a flip-top phone right now so that they can't scroll social media or go online or do anything like that. So if you need to have an emergency contact with your child, think about a flip phone. Think about graduating into a full-on phone so that they're not completely bereft of technology until their 18th birthday. But they also have something that is limiting in that respect.
I think the Boost Mobile guy is my favorite character in this film. He's eating like a Subway sandwich. He's like munching, and man, I love him. I hope he got his SAG card after that,
He's probably still getting residuals to this day.
I hope so. He's getting part of my $4 that I spent buying this movie.
I don't have a ton of notes here because I'm honestly bored. At least with prom night, I could laugh. I had to double check my notebook because my notes jumped a huge section of this film.
I don't know why Taylor is mad about her friends deleting their phone number off her phone. She's like, if you want to delete it, delete it. And so then they take her phone and like, okay, well, I'm going to delete mine. It's like, girl, if it was me, I wouldn't want any of my friends dying, so I would delete all the numbers off my phone. Duh. Like, why would you want to... That could be how you defeat the one missed call monster. You know the guy who does all the, defeat the monster. That's how you do it. You just delete all the numbers off your phone.
Somehow I think that the ghost would be able to find something in your record.
Damn. I guess maybe so. Technology's forever. Oh, this is kind of crazy, Steele. And I haven't done it, but I might. Taylor's shoes, there's one shot. Okay. There's one shot of Taylor's when they're destroying the phone, right? And so they put it on the floor. The camera is framed on their feet. And Taylor, you see the phone drop down, and then Taylor comes and smashes it with her gorgeous heel. I think it's a Steve Madden. I found the shoe in a 7.5. That's my size. And I kind of want to buy it. And I haven't. I think I did an offer for like 18. No, I didn't offer it. I'm going to offer it. I'm like, do I really need her shoes? Will it bring me bad luck? Will I get a demon phone call? I don't know. I need the viewers out there to tell me. Comment down below wherever you can comment and be like, Liz, you should actually get these shoes. They're pretty cute. I think I might do it, Steele. Should I do it?
First of all, yes.
Okay.
Second of all, this just shows where our minds differ. You're looking at shoes and going, I kind of like that. And I'm going, oh, this is Quentin Tarantino's favorite part of this movie.
Oh my God. I think I'm going to get the shoes, y'all. I think I'm going to get the shoes. If we get the shoes, we'll post it on our social media. I will post my feet in the wait.
No.
Returning home, Taylor and Beth meet Ted Summers, a producer for a TV show called American Miracles. It's kind of in the vein of John Edwards, psychic, not senator. And after hearing about Taylor's issue...
Wait, hold on. How? A girl got a voicemail the night before and a producer heard about it, traveled to her home, and is immediately going to help her out and put her on a television show? Continue.
Wait, we have to talk about this because it was really weird. I totally forgot about this whole reality TV show part of the movie. And then when I saw it, I was like, wait a second. Oh, yeah, that definitely did happen. And then also, I think it's because there were like news reports about the people dying. Like, it's like in the news. Like, oh my God, people are dying. And it's like potentially the voicemail. But then, like, how did he find her? Maybe the ghost did it.
They have to set it up somehow.
Summers has a host of resources for people like Taylor. Beth is concerned and pushes Taylor away. But when Taylor touches Summers' phone, it rings a familiar lullaby ringtone and plays Taylor's voicemail. Bum, bum, bum!
Taylor flees to be with her parents, and Detective Andrews shows up, having done some actual police work. There is indeed a phone record of his sister to Shelley, and to Leanne, and to Brian, and to Taylor, all conducted after the sender was dead. Who was the originator? Some forced narration names Marie Layton, a nurse. They break into her apartment, which is more than a little bit of a mess, and after some CGI insects, creepy dolls that look like the odd people the soon-to-be deceased see, and a mini DVD that has footage of 2 children, but no nanny cam, their big lead comes in the form of an inhaler, which Beth heard before the deaths of Leanne and Brian. If this sounds boring to you, don't worry, it was to us too. The classic, I'm going with you. No, you're not. It's too dangerous. These are my friends and you don't get to make that call trope. Careful handling this one. It's an antique.
Yeah, the fact that a civilian can just like insert themselves in police business is kind of crazy. But also, I love that there was no, like, was there any money that went towards the costuming? Because the way those suspender, like, gun holster things fit was literally awful. He's like, what? And also, he's driving straight up. Hold on, I wrote this down because I thought it was hilarious. Him also driving a bright blue Chevy Impala is crazy. Why does he not have a cop car? I know he's a detective, but like detectives still get, right? They get car. You don't have to drive your own car. What?
My girlfriend wanted me to have sex with her on top of her Honda Civic. I couldn't go with it. I only want to have sex of my own accord.
Liz is at a loss for words right now. We'll be back right after these messages.
Was the lullaby scary to you at all?
No. What the heck was even that? But I guess it's creepy in the way that The Conjuring, like, okay, listen. Here, I'm gonna give you 2 examples. So we got One Missed Call, right? Comparing this is the Conjuring universe song, you know, the one that plays from the little box in the first movie and then comes around again in later movies. But I think that it's in the way you use it. It's very masterful. I mean, I'm skipping way ahead into One Missed Call, but it is used so much. I understand, right? It's the ringtone. It's what you hear. It's what you have to hear every time. It's what's going to send the chill down your spine every time you think of it. But I was really annoyed by the end of the film. I was like, oh my God, please stop playing this.
To your point, Tiptoe Through the Tulips is used in Insidious. and Jeepers Creepers is obviously used in Jeepers Creepers. And both of those, I feel, do a better job because there is actual horror that can happen. You don't know what's going to happen, and you hear that song, and it's like impending doom. And the lullaby here, it's not like, oh, you're about to die. It's like, guess what? In 2 days, you might die unless you don't answer the phone. Maybe you do. I don't know.
But also, the ghost had zero time frame because sometimes it was like 2 days, 3 days, 1 day, literally the next night. It was like, what are we reaching towards?
7 days.
Yeah. Is that from The Ring?
That's from The Ring.
Okay. So then I was wrong about The Grudge. What does she do? I still don't remember. What does she come out of? Did she come out of the water?
The
She has to do with
shadows.
the water.
Yeah, there's some. You have to watch the film. It's hard for me to explain right now. And we've got other fish to fry.
Okay.
A little more digging reveals that Marie Layton's daughter died of an asthma attack. There's a CPS report attached to the autopsy. It appears that Marie had a stint at St. Luke's, where Shelley and Detective Andrew's sister worked. What's the connection? Luckily for both Beth and the filmmakers, Andrew's sister kept thorough records. Marie Layton's 2 daughters, Ellie and Laurel, were admitted regularly for burns, cuts, and accidents. Beth, ever the faithful psychology student, has a diagnosis: Munchausen syndrome by proxy. Marie was hurting her children so she herself could get attention. Maybe she fled with Laurel once people started asking questions about Ellie's death.
Beth notices something on the TV. An ad for American Miracles with Taylor's story. Taylor didn't go to her parents. She went to Summers, the producer of the show. Beth and Andrews race to set, where Taylor is being exorcised. The lights of the set flash, fog fills the stage, horrific visages appear in the gloom, one of which chokes her. The things we do for fame.
We get some heavy exposition here that, quote, spiritual energy operates in the electromagnetic spectrum and is therefore transmissible via cellular phones, from which it manifests as hallucinations, unquote. That's a bunch of gobbledygook and a reminder that unless you really know what you're doing, keep science and spiritual horror away from each other.
I don't know why Beth wouldn't let her friend try and get help from any way that she could. You know, Beth would be like, no, stop, you can't. Like, we don't know what this is, blah, 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 blah. And they just kept, like, destroying the phone. I'm like, well, okay, destroying the phone didn't work the first time. What are we doing?
How did the demon monster know to contact Summer's phone that first time?
Well, it's a demon. Demon's gonna know what demon's gonna know.
So
Demons are omnipotent.
But then why does it have to go through a phone? We're going to find out it doesn't have to go through a phone in a little bit.
Exactly. This is a weird thing. Like, why? What? Like, I don't really. Yeah.
I get why they quote unquote explain it in a second, but it's just so contrived.
You know what I have been lacking to say that I think needs to be said is that Ed Burns is so fine in this movie. Ed Burns. My. I thought you were so fine in 27 Dresses, but I was also like hating you because you were the dumb boss that was dating the sister and you didn't love, you know, Katherine Heigl. I was very mad, but I was happy because she ended up being with James Marsden. That's totally fine. It's much better for her anyway. But man, he looks really, really good. Every scene he's in, you just are like more and more like, wait a second. Ed Burns, wait a second. I like Ed Burns. What can I say? Happy for him.
It's Beth's turn for some haunting. Her phone chimes with that lullaby, a voicemail, and a date. The next day. She has to find Marie Layton. After some flashbacks in which it is revealed that Beth suffered abuse at the hands of her parents, which gives her some personal stakes to this whole venture beyond, I don't know, her own life. Beth and Detective Andrews track down Laurel, Marie's surviving daughter, at a foster home. Oh, it's the girl from the fire at the beginning of the movie. We got there, finally! She's not responsive, but her teddy bear plays the lullaby ringtone that has haunted the theatergoers since the beginning of the film and continues to do so today.
We just gloss over Taylor's death, by the way. And that's done. It's over now. Okay, cool.
You're right. We just completely gloss over Taylor's death.
Duh.
This movie just is like, okay, she's dead now. Oh, Brian's dead now. Like,
yeah.
everybody...
And then they don't even get any footage for the reality show. Like, what are you? But you see how like everyone's been dying in a certain way. Like everyone's been like, oh, Shelley gets pulled into the pond and drowned, and Leanne gets hit by a train, a freight train, and then Brian gets like Final Destination with a pole in the middle of his, and then Taylor. She gets choked out by a demon we don't even get to see. It's like, push it, flashing lights, push it. And then she's dead on the table, and the thing falls out of her mouth. The little marble, the little red candy marble roe egg, the Nemo's brothers.
Perfectly said.
Thank you.
Yeah. With The Ring, it's very clear. You watch the tape, 7 days later, a little girl crawls out of a TV that you're near and kills you. Final Destination. Death is an unstoppable force and will use whatever means necessary in order to reclaim your soul. Good films have that kind of game, like in Saw, where you have these various games in which typically the victims kind of commit suicide or at least contribute to their own death. And then you have A Nightmare on Elm Street, which is all about dreams and everything. There's just no unifying factor here except for the phone, kinda.
Beth is running out of time. She and Andrews do some digging as Beth begins to see horrifying hallucinations. Desperate, Beth decides to go to St. Luke's. She believes Marie died in the fire at the beginning of the movie. Indeed, foul spirits are haunting the abandoned structure. They chase Beth, incapacitate Detective Andrews, and give the film so much needed scares. Beth flees and discovers a hidden crawl space with a charred body, Marie's, and a cell phone, also Marie's. The corpse awakens and chases Beth, finally speaking 2 words. Forgive me. Beth is confused.
She's not the only one.
Was Marie trying to protect her?
The whole corpse coming to life thing is a trope, but it's also the first time in the movie where I actually experienced chills. So I'm going to give it a pass here.
It's true. Imagining myself being in that little crawl space with a nasty looking corpse. Ew. I don't like that at all. But her hand opening to the phone was literally it's so laughably funny. It's so laughably bad. I really want to be in a scary movie, even if it's bad. I just kind of want to know what it's going to be like.
If I ever get my film, The Three Knots, off the ground, I'll cast you in it.
Thank you. You better. You heard it here, folks. Heard it here first. Steele, did you ever have a personalized ringtone?
No, actually. I never really used ringtones. I preferred the vibrate function.
Oh my, really? Even back then?
Even then.
Like Razor phone, Nokia.
I was in the cinema. I was watching things. I was in class when this whole era was about.
In the cinema. Okay, just say the movie theater. Jesus. I barely missed the time with, my own phone. And I don't know, Now I find ringtones passé, which makes me kind of sad. I think we should bring those back. But it's passé now if you don't have your phone on buzz. I didn't realize it was like that then. I do have a funny story, though, with this personalized ringer. So sorry to my sister for saying this, but here's the story. So we were at a wedding and we were sitting in the front row or, like second, third, whatever, it's like we're part of the family, right? And my sister has her phone on her and we're sitting together and during this man and this woman and whatever
the vows.
Yeah,
right?
that. Not the vows, but the preacher or not the preacher. Like if you're in a Catholic church, what is it?
Priest.
A priest. The priest is talking, marrying the 2 people. And my sister's phone starts, this one is for the boys with the booming system, top down AC with the, and literally the whole church stops. We're all looking at her, dumbfounded that Super Bass by Nicki Minaj is now blasting out of her tiny little phone. And what do? Thinking I'm helping her, I slap my hand on her phone so she can't get to it to turn it off. And she was like, get. And then she finally gets it off. And then the wedding continues like nothing happened. But I just think that's hilarious. Super Bass at the wedding. One
of the most embarrassing moments of my life happened in a movie theater because I forgot to turn off my phone. It was at the New York premiere of The Wind Rises by Hayao Miyazaki, who's one of my favorite filmmakers. My friend got me into the screening. And it's early in the movie. And suddenly my phone explodes. And at that time, my ringer was, Ghostbusters, what do you want? And so that did it 3 times. I rolled a nat 20 on my secrecy skills. I managed to turn it off and silence it in my pocket within 3 seconds. Ushers came down the aisles on both sides looking for the culprit, and I just stared at the screen.
Wow.
Was not thrown out. I should have been. If I had caught myself, I would have been. Watched the movie. Got through it. Oh, I cringe to this day.
He's physically cringing, you guys. I've never seen him cringe like this before. He literally feels really. It's okay. I think Hayao Miyazaki forgives you. I think the New York crowd, they forgive you too. I think it's okay.
Oh, they wouldn't forgive me, not for 1 second.
Yeah, maybe so. I don't know. It's so long ago, right? How long ago was this?
Over a decade.
Okay, you're fine. You're fine. If I were to have a ringtone, though, it would be the one from. This is so stupid. It would be the one from Paul Blart Mall Cop. My bubble gum.
Yeah.
You want to chew all of my bubble gum. Yeah, the type of girl you want to chew all of. I love that. I still love that now with the, like the phone is like pink and it's bedazzled and he's carrying it around in his little front pocket. Paul Blart Mall Cop, the hidden classic. I think that it slept on too much.
Oh my God.
You like Paul Blart, right? You like Paul Blart Mall Cop, right? Andrews puts the pieces together when he comes to and comforts Beth. Marie must have called his sister, as the nurse's number was stored in Marie's phone after so many hospital visits. That was the beginning. But where will it end?
With Beth understandably rattled, Andrews returns to Laurel's home and discovers that the girl's teddy bear is the nanny cam that shot the footage Andrews and Beth watched before. This time it has the whole story. Ellie, not her mother, was torturing Laurel. Marie rushed in to rescue Laurel and take her to the hospital, and Ellie asphyxiated due to asthma and was unable to call her mother. The last things she saw were insects and creepy dolls, while the last thing she heard was the lullaby music that has since been converted into a ringtone. It's all come full circle. I guess this is the part where we learn the curse is from the phone because she was trying to call her mother, I guess. It just... I don't know, man. Remember how The Ring did this whole the last thing you see thing? Remember how creepy that was? Compare and contrast here. I'm not talking to you, Liz. I know you didn't see the movie. I'm asking the audience to compare and contrast those two films.
Shots fired at me. But it's okay. I will never see it, so it's okay. Maybe if we're like, maybe we could watch it on this TV. We are currently in the Jersey City Public Library Community Hall branch. There's a huge TV right behind us as we sit here and speak to you today. And as these waves travel through your phone to your ears, there's a TV behind us. And we've watched Indiana Jones on there before. Maybe we could watch The Ring during like October. That could be really fun. I've never seen The Ring or The Grudge. That could be we don't even have to like record it. It could just be like me watching things with someone, and it's in the library, so I won't feel afraid. Anyway, let's continue. What I'm going to say here is that why would you go into a hospital? I know we already covered the hospital. Why would you go into a hospital? That makes zero sense. And then the doors just magically open, and you just like decide to go in. I don't really understand. Then she's like, I think Marie was calling to me to protect me. I feel it. Girl, what? This movie's all kinds of what? But I guess I was expecting that, but I wasn't expecting like how much what I'd be whatting. But I whatted a lot. Ariel Winter giving the performance of a lifetime. Child star right there. She gave that her all. I really have to commend her. When she turned around or took the hood off, and I was like, oh, wait, that's Ariel Winter! I was happy for her. I was like, you better be booked, girl. I love her.
Ready to take it home?
Yeah.
Laurel reveals to Beth and Andrews that Ellie did in fact abuse her, but it's okay. She always gave her candy. Those red spheres from before. Ellie is the source of the curse. Jack returns to Beth's home and learns that his cell phone, dropped at the hospital, has an eerie voicemail for him. Death approaches. Indeed, once he arrives at Beth's house, he is stabbed to death through the peephole. Ah, it burns, no.
Ellie's spirit emerges to kill Beth for reasons that aren't clear. Marie's spirit intervenes, binds her daughter into Andrew's phone, and apologizes to Beth before disappearing. Andrew's corpse spits up a red candy as his cell phone creepily auto-dials. Is this murderous rampage at an end? Or not?
Did you appreciate Beth's character arc, Liz?
Was the character arc in the room with us? Or what? Hello? Started scared, ended scared, nothing changed. We never figure out. I'm like, was she saved because she was abused by her own mother?
I think that there's a whole lot cut out of this movie that would have helped with the theme and understanding and transference and whatnot. Instead, we just get, as you say, not a lot of motion, just people dying for reasons that are unclear. With The Grudge, The Ring, Dark Waters, and I don't know, pretty much every capable horror movie from the original Friday the 13th to A Nightmare on Elm Street, we get a reason for why the malicious spirits are malicious. All we have here is an angry girl who is still haunting at the end of this film, I guess. What was the point?
What was the point? We ask ourselves as we sit in the Jersey City Public Library Community Hall branch. What was the point? Thank you, and good night. No, seriously, the spirit of this little girl, this sadistic little girl, murderous even, it has now been killing all these people. Okay, slay, I guess. I don't know. How do you stop it? And then Beth, when it's like quote unquote over, but she's like, it doesn't feel like it's over. Like, I just feel like, and I'm like, but it felt over to me. She's like, listening to her Euro, I don't even know, Euro punk or like, not punk. It's like, I don't even know what that is. It's like this European song. And I was like, girl, she's in her feels in her room, listening to her music in a different language, foreign language. And then there's some odd tension, like a little bit of this, this romantic tension between Beth and Detective Andrews. And there's like, he's like, and I'm like, what's happening here?
I mean, they're both radically attractive individuals.
Absolutely, yes. But I don't know why was the filmmaker leading me on that they were going to be together and then they weren't going to be. This is just exactly like the way These two films are cut from the same cloth. Drag Me to Hell and One Missed Call. Also another crazy movie cover, she's dragged to hell in the arms and the flames. And nobody's happy with that ending either.
Actually, a lot of people are happy with that ending. They're called critics. Check out our coverage on Drag Me to Hell, wherever you get your podcasts.
I wasn't happy with that ending. And I'm not happy with this one either because Ed is dead. I came to watch the movie for nostalgia. I stayed for Ed, and I'm glad the movie ended 3 minutes after he died because I didn't want to stay much longer.
Ready for trivia?
Yes.
Trivia.
The original Japanese film had a running time of 112 minutes, while the remake barely made it to 87. That would imply a much tighter experience filled with more tension, or at least speed. I haven't seen the original film, so I can't comment, but yeah.
One Missed Call received Rotten Tomatoes' Moldy Tomato Award as the worst reviewed film on the website in 2008. It is also rated the second worst film of its decade, behind only Ballistic X vs. Sever.
Oof. Ed Harris and Gabriel Byrne both signed on to appear in the film in unknown roles. Both bowed out for unknown reasons. Guillermo
del Toro was offered the chance to direct this film, which honestly would have been great. He's already got that thing going with the 3 eyes and the hand. That would have been, Labyrinth, Pan's Labyrinth, which I always thought it was Labyrinth, the movie. And so when I found out that those two were different things, I was kind of like, oh, that makes sense. One's like scary, one's very sexually charged, David Bowie, around puppets. Anyway, he was offered the chance to direct, but couldn't due to his commitment to Hellboy 2, The Golden Army. I liked Hellboy. I was a Hellboy fan when I was a kid.
I like the comic books and certain elements of the films.
Yeah, I think I only watched the first one, though. I was like, wow, it's a big red guy.
Eric Valette, the director, purposefully did not watch the original Japanese film and asked that the cast and crew to refrain as well, so that they could create their own film without being beholden to the original. I do understand that inclination. At the same time, it's a remake, and if you're going to go your own way, you better hit a grand slam.
I equate Hellboy and Van Helsing as like being the same genre of film. Am I correct in that?
Yeah, broadly so, yeah.
Yeah. I want to watch Van Helsing. I like that.
Oh, man, does that qualify?
Oh, if that qualifies, we're watching it. Oh, I'm watching that fast. I loved Van Helsing as a kid. I love it even now.
I love the director. He directed The Mummy.
No, my God. I love The Mummy. I wish we could do that.
It's too good of a movie.
I know, it's literally too good. It's too good.
What we want, Van Helsing.
Rachel Weisz. Oh, my God.
God, she was
Brendan Fraser. Oh my God.
Lord.
What a crazy time. What a good time. The second one's even better than the first one, I think, sometimes.
Guess what?
Please. Oh, please. Yes, yes, yes.
Van Helsing qualifies.
Holy shit.
24% from the critics, 57% from the crowd. That is a 33-point difference. That is good enough to qualify for the critics and the crowd.
Coming to you next week, Critics in the Crowd does Van Helsing.
Don't promise them. I have no idea what release order we're going in.
Okay, cool, whatever. Just know it's coming. It's coming, okay. Writer Andrew Clavin claims that he intended the script to be a horror comedy and that much of the clunky lines were, quote, supposed to be jokes. It certainly wouldn't have been the first time that Hollywood shifted a script's tone without the writer's involvement. See also Problem Child, American Beauty, and famously Jaws, which had to shift its tone from direct horror to unseen horror when the shark animatronic kept breaking down, requiring extensive reworking during filming. That, and the others, were all hits. So while it's assuredly disappointing when one's work is lost in translation, there's a reason studios sometimes do this.
Clavin also stated, quote, each group, writer, director, actress, producer, had a different vision of the film, and while any of them might have worked, they pulled in different directions, unquote.
Marketing for the film was kept minimal, with the website for the movie only going up a month before release. At least one promotion for the release included a first prize of an Apple phone from Bloody Disgusting.
Sound designers used the voice of Skid Row frontman Sebastian Bach in the hospital basement scene. The exact clip comes from Bach's scream at the beginning of Midnight Tornado, a song from the band's 1989 debut album, Skid Row.
Filming mostly took place in Atlanta, Georgia, beginning in July of 2006. It was scheduled to be released in August of 2007, but was later pushed back to January of 2008. An ominous sign.
Jason Horgan was originally considered for the part of Ray Purvis, but the producers felt that he was too young. The part went to Jason Beggy, and Horgan was cast as Dr. Ken Brown.
Shelley wasn't in the original script. Eric Valette added her at the last minute to establish the ghosts as a threat early on in the film. Megan Good shot all of her scenes, including the death scene, in one day.
Eric Follett and Shannon Sossaman have disowned the film and claimed to hate it. In an interview, Sossaman revealed that the decision to make the film PG-13 was made at the last minute after principal photography and against the wishes of director Eric Follett. Other sources back this up, stating that the original film was longer, aimed at an R rating, and featured more practical effects, but that studio cuts and a refusal to spend more money left filmmakers without much wiggle room to finesse a final picture. Other sources claim that the studio did spend more money to include CGI effects, such as the ghostly woman's mouth eyes, the computer-generated centipedes, the demonic CGI baby holding a cell phone, to hide the more horrific practical effects for the purposes of achieving a teen-friendly rating.
Director Eric Follett was allegedly upset that Sossaman attended a screening of the theatrical version before getting a chance to see his version. This implies that there's a director's cut somewhere, though with the reception that the film got, it's unlikely to ever be released.
The film was nominated for 2 awards, Best Movie Actress for Sossaman and Best Movie Actor for Burns from the Teen Choice Awards.
Weird, man. Also, I read that the Japanese-style housing was an homage to the original film.
That makes sense. I mean, I get it. It just feels so out of place.
Yeah, that was really crazy. I was like, what's going on right now? What are we doing? What are we doing? But then I, read into it. I was like, okay, I guess that's nice.
Pros.
It's over quickly.
Edward Burns.
Yeah.
He's so handsome and rugged.
Ed Burns is doing a lot of heavy lifting here. Very few of the other characters do a lot in this movie, particularly Beth. And he's doing almost all of this investigation.
Ariel Winter's cameo, acting her face off. Love. Scream Queen.
There are some nice shots throughout the film, and when we get to St. Luke's, there are a couple good scares. I'll give them that.
Taylor's shoes. That's it. I'm gonna buy those shoes, damn it. I should have done it already. Cons. The script.
Yeah.
I don't really got much to say, y'all.
I'm not sure if it's the script or if it's the editing. As we said, the studio seems to have butchered this. Maybe the original script, maybe the original cut made a lot more sense.
Ooh, you're right.
I'm not sure how, but right now I honestly can't figure it out because it's just disjointed all over the place. I don't know how adding more stuff would help, but it certainly couldn't make it a worse film at this point.
You're right. Honestly, the horror comedy that there should have been jokes. Now that you're saying that, I'm like, wait a second. If I go back and I try and think about this as a sort of like, you take the more serious bits and make them funny, it's like, wait, that could definitely work.
I could see this as a Scream adjacent kind of film. Instead, it's trying to play more like I Know What You Did Last Summer, and I don't think it pulls it off.
Yeah.
The opening 2 scenes and the title sequences are just atrocious. I'm not usually one to complain about something like this, but it felt like a student film with the disconnected segments that lead to a generic font, scary music, and a bland montage. This is why a film needs to hook you from the very beginning with its premise. I was immediately bored. I'm going to paraphrase Roger Ebert here, but in one review he wrote, "My first note reads, quote, film starts slow, unquote. The next note, quote, film starts really slow, unquote. The third note was my grocery list."
The underuse of Megan Good. Damn. She would have been great.
The tension or lack thereof, I really wasn't scared at all. It also wasn't so bad that I was laughing. It was just very, very bland. I thought we were going to get a lot more of themes of PTSD, abuse, and whatnot, given that it's central to Beth's character and it shows why she's so invested in the stakes of this beyond her life, that she went through something very similar to this. It's why she, quote unquote, distrusts Marie. But it's just kind of used as filler here. Once again, maybe in a director's cut, we could see that play out a little bit more.
The empty feeling you have once the credits roll. Similar to Drag Me to Hell, I do not like this ending, and I was like, what? What are we doing? Why are we here? What was it all for? But yeah, that's a huge con for me, I think. I like Pretty Little Bows, and I like nice things. Even if you're gonna leave it open-ended, just make it, I don't know. What could have actually made this ending better? I don't really know. The annoying leads. Okay, this is not the lead's fault. I really love the actors really trying to make me love them, and I do love them as people and as actors. But every choice of Beth's made me so angry. I feel like this film was half-baked. But as we have spoken before, there are many reasons as to why it feels this way, and I can't be too mad at it. But thank you for the thrills and the chills. One missed call, I will never watch you again.
I think Shannon Sossaman was completely miscast here. She's an excellent actress, and she does do what she can with this script, but her style is understated energy. It can bring sensuality, vulnerability, intensity to a character all at the same time. It's utterly out of place in a film that is lacking in characterization and ambiguity. Go see her in Rules of Attraction, though it's not for the faint of heart. Be aware.
What's that about?
It's a non-linear story about 3 morally ambiguous people in college and their attraction or lack of attraction to each other in a multi-sexual, non-heteronormative love triangle. And it's very good. It opens with her character being raped upstairs, and it just kind of leads up to it's very nihilistic. It's one of the director and writer was the co-writer of Pulp Fiction, and it looks in the same way that American Psycho looks at the emptiness of American corporatism. It looks at the emptiness of American college life, but it's very dark and very depressing, and it's
Whoa.
very not a shock. It's written by the same guy.
Personal opinion.
Now it's time for our personal opinions. We've done the jokes and the research. We're about to do a little more objective analysis, but right at this moment, you're going to hear from our hearts. And as Liz feels that the heart is the most important thing of a film, I want you to lead us off. So Liz, does this film have heart?
No. This was bad. And I'm sorry. I truly have no other words. I think maybe it was a fun intro to spooky movies for me as a child, but please don't spend time or money watching this film. Just let it fall away.
Yeah, this film is about as heartless as a victim of Hannibal Lecter's. If it's true that the studio junked this film, then I honestly can't blame any of the individuals within it. It's a big muddled mess that meanders, doesn't get moving until it's too late, and can't even wrap itself up. I never felt tension, and save for 1 or 2 spots, never even felt scared or worried, just bored. I think Andrew Clavin said it best in that everybody was pulling in different directions, and then it just got chopped up to bits. Alas.
Verdict.
The critics in the crowd are divided. One missed call is an oh-fer, with 0% of professional critics giving this film a positive rating. Only 29% of audiences disagree. That means we're back in the trenches, trying to determine if what we have here is worthless or slightly less than worthless. Liz, your choice, your voice. Give us your take before we depart for the great beyond, which apparently can be accessed via Boost Mobile.
Listen. Critics could not have been more right on this one. I really like to go with my crowd often, okay? But I don't know how it has 29%. I think the crowd is sorely wrong. I really thought I would be able to put up a good fight for this film, but I was majorly let down. And I can't believe these words are coming out of my mouth. But I would watch Big Trouble in Little China again before I ever watched this film again.
Big Trouble in Little China. I usually don't like publicly taking down someone else's art, but since studio intervention was at cause here, I don't feel bad saying that the critics nailed this one. It's a complete mess ruined by interference, and it's really a shame because there are good moments and elements in it, including shots that are intriguing and a performance by Ed Burns that is, at worst, decent. I just think the concept doesn't quite translate, and because of that, literally every other element in this film started off on the wrong foot. Liz, give us your stars.
0 out of 5 stars. Womp womp. Ha!
I still prefer my 0 out of 4 stars. Thank you very much. And with that finality, we come to the end of this episode of The Critics in the Crowd. Hit us up on our socials. Tell us what you think of One Missed Call. Just keep the expletives to a minimum and let us know what you want us to cover in the future. Just remember that there needs to be a minimum of 25-point difference on Rotten Tomatoes. That is 1 star of separation, or 0.8 stars in Liz's book.
And with that, folks, don't forget to turn those phones on ringer and maybe touch some grass. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out. The Critics in the Crowd is hosted by Liz Ramirez and Steele Philippek. Editing and production handled by Steele. Social media by Wendy Dobkin. Logo by Aria Feliciano. Music by Joel Studler, provided by a Humble Bundle. All audio effects are sourced through freesound.org and used under the Creative Commons license. If you feel that we used a piece of audio to which you own the rights, please email helmstarmedia@gmail.com.
This episode was recorded at the Communipub branch of the Jersey City Public Library. Special thanks to Kyle Ramsey and all of the amazing librarians at this location throughout the United States and throughout the world. To quote Bruce Coville, the real heroes are the librarians and teachers who at no small risk to themselves refuse to lie down and play dead for censors.